Weight cut's a lot easier. My body's much more adapted to being at this weight for a prolonged period of time. I did all my sparring pretty much at the weight that I expect to be the night of the fight. And this is my natural weight. This is what I'm comfortable at. My joints feel way better than they ever have before. And, fortunately now I'm in a position where I have nothing but options. So this is the way I want to be, and everyone that I want to fight is going to have to come to me. Well, it got to be when I was doing judo, I fought 154 because the divisions were 154, 138.6, and you had to make those weights all the time. Sometimes weekend after weekend after weekend, and I didn't have any nutritional support or any help like that. So I decided to go 154. If you see my fights in the Olympics, the girls were like a head taller than me. I was tiny for my division. And then when I first started doing MMA, I came off of a year of bartending and hanging out, so I was a little bit heavier. And but then I was fighting 145 for a while, and it got to the point that my walking weight was 145. I was just hanging out of that weight from doing MMA. It was so much muscle confusion and different workout that I'd ever done before that the weight just started falling off of me. And so it just seemed like natural to me. I was like, hey, look, I'm now at a disadvantage fighting at this weight. I'm better off fighting at 35. So, and there was a lot more opportunities over there. I saw the opportunities that would have been available with the Miesha Tate fight, and I decided that was the best way to go, and I went for it. And it's been working out great so far, and I think it's now it's the premier division for all of women's MMA. It seems like the 45 division is totally obsolete now. I think they created it only for Gina Carano. Without her around, there's really no point for it anymore until we can really get the 35 division going and push all the women in that division. We can get the depth that everyone says that women's MMA is lacking. I think that's probably the best thing for now, is to get one division to be super competitive and super publicized. And then once we get that rolling, then we can start branching out and getting all the other women's divisions, really much more developed. But I think that focusing on one and working our way out is probably the best way to go right now, instead of diluting the talent throughout a bunch of different divisions. Yeah, this is definitely the best shape I've ever been in my whole life. Check it out. Wow!
How long do you keep this?
No, I have them almost all the time now. Yeah. I'm in better shape than I ever was in my whole life. And part of it is I train like a professional now. I'm not an amateur sport anymore, and I'm not one person vying for the attention of a coach that a whole lot of people are, trying to get help from. I have a whole team and a whole staff that all come around to support me, and I'm definitely benefiting from that. So it's a competency of my team that really gets me into the shape that I am now. No, I try to beat the person at their own game. I try to take away their weapons. So she's a striker, and I've been working very much on my striking for this entire camp. I want to be a better striker than she is and take her best weapon away from her. And I do believe I'm a better striker than she is. Just other people don't know it yet. With the last camp, I did a whole lot of wrestling, and I wanted to be a better wrestler than Miesha, and I was throwing her all over the place. That's just the way that we like to operate. So I know that if I get her on the ground, I'm going to be able to, do what comes naturally to me. I don't need to become that much of a better grappler. I think that I am now to be able to beat her on the ground. When she's on the ground, she's in my world, so I want to be able to dominate her where she feels comfortable. My mom has a lot of lines, and one of them is nobody's easy until after you've already beaten them. I've already beaten the people that I've fought in so far, and if I had to match, Sarah Kaufman up with different people that I fought before, I think there's some of them that could beat her, but I haven't beaten Sarah yet, so she's the main test in front of me, and she has 100% of my attention, and I'm going to treat her like she is the hardest person that's ever, come my way, and that's why I've trained harder for this fight than any other fight I've had before. People ask me a question, they want to hear my answer. I mean, I'm just answering it bluntly. What are you going to try to do to this person? Well, I'm fighting the person. I'm trying to kill them with my bare hands. What do you think? I respect her so much as an athlete that I'm not going to be taking any chances. I've tried being nice to people, and it's come back to bite me in the ass. So if I get her an arm bar, I'm getting an arm bar to rip that arm off. I said if I get her in a choke, I'm not going to try and tell the referee that she's out. I'm going to choke her until somebody pulls her off me. I'm not going to sit there and have any mercy. If I knock her out, I'm not going to walk away and stroll away from the knockout and think she might shake it off and get up. I'm going to find a way to go there and finish her off, and I'm not going to stop until I'm physically pulled off my opponent. And I was just saying that she should be thanking her lucky stars that MMA is properly regulated, and because the California Athletic Commission is the only thing that's going to keep her alive. Because if we were fighting alone in a room somewhere, and I'm going to approach this fight like my little sister's life on the line, my little sister's life on the line, and I'm in a room alone with somebody, there's no way on God's green earth that person would ever walk out of that room alive. That's just the way it is, and that's how I think of these fights. And we're not baking cakes. I don't know why everybody is so surprised about what I had to say. I'm just blatantly saying it. We have a referee in there for a reason. The referee's in there to stop me.